Hey, everybody. We're about to go live on Facebook and on the radio. So, hope you enjoyed today's show. So, should be some good information and probably a couple of real life experiences that Lisa and I've had dealing with this sort of crap. So, should be good stuff.
Your resource for learning about how to manage your health, housing, financial, and legal needs. This is a live call-in program featuring John Ross and Lisa Schulmeyer, elder law attorneys and senior advocates for the Art Latex. Aging Insight is dedicated to helping you navigate the challenges and blessing of growing older. So call in and ask your questions. The number is 903-793-1071.
Right, here we go.
Now here are your hosts, John Ross and Lisa Schulmeyer.
Well, welcome to Aging Insight, everybody. This is your host, John Ross, here live in the studio.
In the dry studio.
Yes, in the dry studio on this very wet April the 13th, 2019. And here, as always, with my faithful co-host, Lisa Schulmeyer.
That's right. The weather has been... it's kind of been banging out there a little bit. I heard on the way down to the studio, some folks south of us experienced some hail, but looks like we're in a little calm right now in the city. But, that doesn't stop us from getting to the studio so we can come to you free, keep you company on your radio.
That's right.
And, of course, for our watchers and followers on Facebook, you can always watch us on Facebook Live.
Yeah, you can go to the Ross and Schulmeyer Facebook page, check us out there. You could share the video with your friends and, give us a thumbs up if you like the program and all of that sort of stuff that you can do on the social medias out there.
That's right. So,
but yeah, we drug our cookies all the way up here to the studio because we know this information is so important that we just got to give, even, we're like the Postal Service of elder law information.
That's right. Nothing's going to stop us.
That's right. That's right. And of course, we can't do this all on our own. We have our sponsors that help make us happen here, bring this to you. And so we always like to take the moment here at the beginning of the show to thank all of those sponsors like Edgewood Manor or Dirksen Memorial Hospice.
Yes, Texarkana Funeral Home, Calhoun Creek Estates, also the Barnett Agency.
The Barnett Agency, Red River Federal Credit Union.
Yeah.
Heritage Plaza.
Yeah. So those folks, they put in a little coin so we can come to you on the radio on Saturdays. So if you do business or see those folks out, because it is health fair season. It's spring health fair season. So you'll see a lot of these folks out. And I know that Dirksen, they're coming up. They'll have their senior day in the park coming up in the first part of May. But we're going to talk more about that on a show right before we get to that.
Yeah, we'll probably have them come in and talk a little bit about that.
That's just a fun day in the park. You never outgrow a fun day in the park.
Yeah, no, that's right. And, man, Lisa, this last week was busy.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it was busy.
Yeah, no, let's see. The days go on so quickly. But I know Friday morning, yesterday, I spoke to the Chamber of Commerce business breakfast, and where I talked about, protecting your emerging adult children.
Yeah.
People go, why is that elder law attorney talking about, 19 and 20-year-olds? But as I told the folks at that breakfast, John, that the biggest threat to your retirement is your kids.
It is.
Or your grandkids.
Yeah, that's exactly
right. But
right.
anyway, so maybe I'll save that topic for another day. But I did talk about that yesterday at the Chamber of Commerce. And then, John, I know yesterday morning you were elsewhere.
Yeah, well, of course, this last week I did my How to Draft Your Own Will course 2 different nights. We did it on Monday night and we did it on Thursday night over at Texarkana College.
Altogether, maybe what, about 40 folks came out to, between those 2 nights?
Yeah, man, 40, 50. Yeah, so good turnout on that. Spoke down over in Lindale. And then on Friday morning was over at the Texarkana College again for the mental health update. So all the social workers and nursing home people and doctors and psychologists and counselors, all of those sort of folks, getting them. That was a 3.5 hour presentation.
Yeah,
trying to get them all the information that they need. It's probably why my voice sounds
like you've been hanging out in the back corner of a smoky bar.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I got a little Barry White going on.
Yeah. Well, and John Mundy seems so long ago, but I was up in Hope, Arkansas, to speak to the retired teachers group for Hempstead County up there. So, Hope last week they had President Clinton on Saturday. They had me on Monday.
One of which significantly more important than the other.
So,
and I know which one I feel like was the better speaker between the two.
Right. Well, anywho,
I just stumped you.
I have comments, but I'll keep them to myself. This is an elder law show. Anyhow, but so folks, if you're out there and you want to, there will be an opportunity for you to come and listen to us in person,
flesh. That's right.
And make sure if you've got a burning question and you just don't like your radio voice, you don't want to call us on the radio, come and see us at one of our other speaking events. And we always take questions. We always visit with folks after the presentations, private, a little private, just a little question or an answer. But we love to see you. Yeah,
and so on, kind of on that note, Monday is tax day.
Yes, Monday, April 15th is tax day. For our listeners who are, have graduated to not having to file a tax return, well, you can just put your feet up. But that's the rest of us have got to make sure and get that done.
But my guess is, so everybody knows that April 15th is tax day. What people probably don't know is that April 16th is National Healthcare Decisions Day.
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, everybody has a heart attack.
Right, on tax day.
On tax day. So the day after tax day is National Healthcare Decisions Day. I'm actually going to be speaking over at the retreat at Kenwood. If you've never been over there, it's a nice little place. I'm going to be speaking over there about healthcare decision making. That'll be from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock at Kenwood. It's at 210 North Kenwood Road, Texarkana, Texas. That's the retreat over there. And I'll also be speaking to the Lions Club on Wednesday.
Okay.
So if you're a Lion out there and part of that Wednesday Lions group, then I will be your speaker.
Yeah, no, I haven't checked my calendar lately to see where I'm going to be.
But the one that I really wanted to mention, my favorite one to do all year, is my 3-day advanced elder law class that I do over at Texarkana College. If you want to know as much about this stuff as you can possibly gain without going to law school and without spending years and years studying it, then coming to my 3-day class at Texarkana College, where I will talk about powers of attorney, guardianship, Medicare, Medicaid, veterans benefits, wills and trusts, asset protection, estate planning, everything you can think of.
Yeah, just the whole basket full of elder law topics.
It's 3 nights in a row, and it's going to be April 23rd, 24th, 25th. You don't have to come to all 3 nights if you don't want to, but lots of good information there. It's free, like everything else.
No, we make sure and try to provide all this information free of charge too, so that way it gets to the people who need it.
That's right. So 3-night class, you can register by going to the Texarkana College website, go under their community education section, or if you for our Facebook followers and those things, if you go through the events section on the Ross and Schollmeyer Facebook page, you'll see links to where you can sign up for all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. All right. That's enough self-promotion.
That's enough self-promotion.
For one morning.
Well, all I'm saying is, hey, if you want to see us and you want to come out and be educated, there is an opportunity. So
that's right. Or you can do like everybody else does and stop and ask us questions in the grocery store.
That's right.
Which we don't mind, by the way. We're always happy to provide you the information. All right, so we've got a good topic today.
Yes, a very timely, common, applies to everybody topic.
Yep. I was given that speech in Lindale on oh geez, all my days running together. Thursday. Yes, it was Thursday. And during my speech was, how do you know when you're protected? And so I was talking about, knowing how you're going to pay for long-term care, knowing how you're going to transition assets at death without getting everything tied up in a court process, and knowing how you're going to protect your beneficiaries on the back end, right? And this is how you're going to know you're protected. But always open to questions about other stuff. And I bet I had 4 or 5 people asking me questions about their bank accounts and putting their kids on their bank accounts. What happens if they're, are they just a signer? Or are they if they're a joint owner? And what happens to the account when they die? And I had lots of questions about that.
Yeah, John, it's very common when I'm visiting with a client in the office, as we talk about some of these things, they will often proudly tell me. Proudly that they have already added their child or their children to their bank account.
That's right.
And usually, John, I just kind of smile and I say, well, you certainly took some affirmative steps there. But here are some concerns that you might want to think about after the fact, of course. But
we always have to be very careful when we're meeting with clients and stuff, because oftentimes you can tell that the person you're talking to is very proud of whatever it is that they've already accomplished prior to coming to see us. And it's awfully hard to. We don't want to be the crushers of dreams.
Right. Or the disciplinarian school marm.
That's right. So I had clients in all this week, and I had several and all of various ages, but all of them were somewhat ashamed at having not done anything at all. So when I asked them, like, do you have powers of attorney in place? No. Have you ever even done a will or anything? No.
But there's no judgment. Hey, they're here to learn and get stuff done.
That's right. My immediate response was, I cannot tell you how happy that makes me, because I didn't want to have to tell you that what you had already done was wrong.
Right. So I guess today's topic, we're going to talk about the issues about adding children to your bank accounts.
Yep.
And it's such a common practice that, many of the folks we meet with, when we ask about, bank accounts and things, they jump in to tell us they've already added their kids to the account, or they will say, maybe they come and talk to us first, and they go to their bank after, and the customer service person at the bank offers to add the child to the bank account.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
And so, as you're out there listening to us today, I want you to think about it. If my advice to you, and by the time we're done today, you will understand that my advice to you is to not add your kids to your bank account.
Yep.
And if I have given you that advice, and I've got a law degree, a tax degree,
20 years of experience,
and you walk into a bank and the precious young lady who looks to be about 23 tells you that, no, you should add your child to the bank account, please do me the respect of maybe following my advice.
That's not what.
But anyway, so we're going to talk about what's up with adding children to bank accounts.
Yeah, give you a couple of good solid reasons why you should definitely not do it.
So yeah, there's probably some panicked listeners out there, John.
That's right.
But hey, stick around, listen for the show, and then after you get to the end of the show, you can see if you need to change something you may have already done.
That's right. Stick around. We'll be right back. All right, we're back.
Yes.
And for my Facebook Live folks, It's almost wine festival time.
Yes, let's hope we get all the rain out of the way before then.
That's right. Yes, all this rain business. If you can do Indian rain dances, if that's part of your thing, or some other like a Hindu chant or whatever God you have out there, please tell them to make this crap outside go away on May the 4th. Because May the 4th is going to be the Texarkana Wine Festival that's brought to you by the Alzheimer's Alliance, of which I have a soft spot for, and have devoted a lot of time and effort into building up that organization to what it is today. And so the Texarkana Wine Festival, it's our tagline for this one is Jive for 5.
Yeah, because it's
the fifth year.
Yep.
That's the 5th year. And you know what? In just 5 years, we're talking about now what is the biggest community event in Texarkana. They've been doing a lot of community events out here for a long time, but Wine Festival, crushing it.
Took off like a rocket.
That's right. And we want that to keep happening. And the way that keeps happening is by all of y'all coming out and hanging out. You don't like wine? I don't care. Don't drink wine.
There's food.
There's food. There's music. There's stuff to do. There's people to hang out with, people to see. Maybe you're not a wine drinker, but you're a beer drinker. You know what? That's even better, because there will be one beer tent where you can buy Texas craft beers, and all of the beer money goes to the Alzheimer's Alliance. So you're a wine drinker, great, come on out. You're a beer drinker, great, come on out. Not a drinker at all, great, come on out. No reason not to come out. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
So there's my sales pitch for the wine festival. Not bad.
Yeah, and folks come out. They bring their family, picnic blankets. They because there's a stage with live music, so you can just enjoy a nice spring day in the park, be entertained, and all of that is free. So, people always talk about there's nothing to do in Texarkana. Well, to come out to the park and listen to the music, peruse the craft booths, free.
Yep. So yeah, Texarkana Wine Festival on May the 4th. And you can always remember, right? It's like, May the 4th be with you.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Nerd got it.
You can drink your wine and then have Cinco de Mayo
the next day. That's right. Oh, we ought to have a Star Wars costume contest at the wine festival.
That would be great.
All right, here we go, back live on the show.
Oh, need a microphone.
All right, here you go, Lisa.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Aging Insight. I'm Lisa Schollmeyer. I'm here with John Ross, and we are live in the studio, keeping out of the rain. Of course, because we're live, you can always call and ask your question at 903-793-1071. And today we're talking about, I'll just say it's the top 5 reasons.
Assuming we get to all 5.
Yes. That seniors should avoid sharing a bank account with an adult child.
That's right.
All right. So
really, it's adult child, but if you don't have any kids, but you've got a trusted niece that you like or something, then this equally applies to the grandchild or the niece or the whoever the person is that you're thinking about adding to your bank account.
Okay. And I guess, John, before we even get to the 5 reasons, let's talk about what we mean by and what the bank usually means. If you just walk into the bank with your adult child whom you love and trust, and they help you with all kinds of stuff, and you say, I would like if I get sick, I want my child to be able to take care of my bills and write checks and things like that.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Yeah. What they're typically going to do, what we see most often, is that you end up making that person an owner of the account along with you.
Right. And so what a lot of seniors don't realize is, because, John, these days, it's not just adding the child to the signature card.
Right.
When you go in and tell that bank person that you want your child to be able to help you if you get sick, they are going to add, as a default, what we see is that the bank customer service representative adds the child to your account as a joint owner.
That's right.
And they add that child as a joint owner with right of survivorship. And you don't really necessarily see that because they're just clicking and ticking on their computer.
That's right. And if you've opened a bank account anytime in the last couple of decades, yeah, I mean, you know, they after you opened up the account, there was this stack. I mean, literally a stack, probably 20 or 30 double-sided pages.
Yeah, legal size.
With all of the contract agreements and everything. The first page had your account number and stuff like that.
The names.
And then all this other stuff. And they folded up into a little plastic tube envelope thing.
Or a little carton or something.
A little carton or something. And they hand that to you. But that's what we're talking about. It's all of that. It's all of that fine print.
Yeah. So, you know, because, you know, John, when you open a bank account now, they just really have you sign the little magnetic signature pad. So you don't really know exactly what they're attaching your signature to.
Yeah, just kind of like I was joking in my mental health update about, you know, I was talking about having powers of attorney that give you access to email accounts and stuff. And I was joking with everybody about how when you set up that email account, they just have you click the little box that says you agree to the terms and conditions.
Right.
You know, one of those terms and conditions could have been that you're going to, you know, sell your firstborn child.
Right.
You would have just clicked it because you didn't read.
That's right. So the same is happening at the bank. When you go into the lobby at the bank and you say you want to add your child so they can help you if you get sick, the bank is actually making lots and lots of legal decisions for you, which you are signing off on, whether you realize it or not. And so the bank is typically adding that child to your account as a joint owner of your money with a right of survivorship. So, John, today, when we talk about the top 5 reasons not to do that, that is what we're talking about is just adding that child as a joint owner with right of survivorship.
Right.
That is the default position that we see banks take on this. There are other ways to do it, but if as a layperson, you don't know what they are.
That's right.
So you just walk in the bank and you say, I want to add my child to my account. Yeah.
So throughout the day, this is what we're talking about. What we're not talking about is doing something like a pay on death designation.
Right. Some sort of beneficiary designation.
Where you're saying, hey, this person doesn't have anything to do with this account right now, but when I die, here's who gets the money that's left over in the bank. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I mean, well, there's a few things, but nothing that we're going to talk about today.
And John, one of the things that, you know, when the banks add that person as a joint account holder, I have a lot of seniors who don't use debit cards.
Right.
But if that child's a joint owner, well, they could get a debit card.
Yeah, no, that's right.
You know,
yeah. So we're going to hit all of these top 5 when we come back from our news break. And if you have any questions about any of this, we are live in the studio, so you can give us a call. The phone number is 903-793-1071. You do have to call while we're on the air. If you call while we're at the break, we're just going to watch our little light flash.
Right. So be thinking of your questions.
Thinking of your questions or concerns. And then once we get back from this news break, you can call in and ask anything you like about this topic or about the wine festival, if you like, or whatever it is.
So get your pen and paper ready. We're going to have 5 reasons not to add your kids to your account when we come back from the news. So stick around, everyone.
Oh, and we're still live on the Facebook with all of y'all.
Yes. I just, you know, John, I can think of situations where I did visit with a client. They went to the bank and a, you know, young person at the bank told them, oh, no, you don't have to do all those things that lawyer said. It's just so easy. We could just add that kid to the account.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
and the bank makes it easy, but John, I would argue that the bank makes it easy because that is the best protection for the bank.
Right, and that is true. You know, if you voluntarily make somebody a joint owner, and any of the things that we're going to talk about today happen,
Not the bank's fault.
not the bank's fault.
All those electronic pad signatures, they produce a contract that said that your kid could do all the things that kid did, which maybe in your mind you never meant for your child to do, but the contract says differently.
That's right.
So anyway, so we'll
and again, for those of y'all who are interested, the advanced elder law class, that's going to be week after next. It's the week right after Easter. So that's Tuesday the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And you can go to the Texarkana College website and register through that. And you can also check out the Facebook page for Ross and Schollmeyer, and we will have that.
right there.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I might even just see if I could put a link in the comments for anybody that was interested. But I'll have to find it. So.
Well, and John, coming up this week, while you're looking to add that, Thursday night let's see, this coming Thursday night, I'll be hanging out with the folks of the Arkansas Community Foundation, celebrating the Texarkana affiliate of the Community Foundation, because if you don't know, the Community Foundation gathers money, resources to support community organizations like the Alzheimer's Alliance.
Yep.
Community Foundation's given some grants over there. But it's a way for our community members to pool money to make sure that our local community supports are there and get some financial support. So I'm going to go out and hang out with those guys this Thursday.
Awesome. And so, yeah, if you are interested in signing up for the advanced elder law class, or you have anybody else, I'm putting the link in the comments as we speak.
Click, clack, click.
Yes, clicky, clicky, clicky. And I think I just did it, and I really don't know. Because, hey, it's the internet. Who knows what's going on? Ah, yes, there it is. It worked. Look, I can even put it up on the screen now. Bam. So yeah, you can click that link there and go into the comments. Click the link if you'd like to sign up for my 3-night advanced elder law class. I'm just telling you, it's the best elder law class there is.
If you don't say so yourself.
It's definitely the best one offered at any college within 200 miles of Texarkana.
That's true. Yeah. And frankly, John, of course, I went to law school 20 plus years ago. There wasn't a single elder law class offered for credit at my law school. So the fact that we do it just 3 nights that's more information than I got as a law student.
That's right. That's true. That's exactly true.
Yeah, your law school didn't have anything like that either.
Nope, we had no elder law at Texas Tech. And I think there's still a lot of colleges that have no elder law coursework, or if they do have elder law coursework, it's maybe a 1 semester survey kind of class that they offer, once every other year or once a spring semester or something like that. So take advantage of this. It's right here in our community. Again, you're learning more than a lot of law students are just by coming to that 3-night course. That's exactly right. All right. Well, we are headed back live. So y'all keep watching. Here we go. Welcome back to Aging Insight, everybody. For those of y'all who are listening on the radio, you're just missing out on all the banter.
That's right.
All the banter we have going on Facebook Live that we're doing at the exact same time we're doing this radio.
Yes.
So we've got a little camera staring at us.
Yes, you won't have to listen to all those public service announcements on the radio if you jump on Facebook Live. You can listen to us.
Yep, that's right. So be sure and go to the Ross and Schollmeyer Facebook page. While you're there, follow it.
Yeah.
Click the little button and follow it, and then no matter where you're at, you can always check out your your episode of Aging Insight. You can see whatever shirt I happen to be wearing that day.
Yes.
I try to wear lots of
your
different
thing.
ones.
Kinda
Yeah,
like-
I like to wear the cats just to keep it light. And of course, you can give us a call today, 903-793-1071. All right, Lisa,
All
tell
right,
me,
okay, we got
tell
to
me
jump in
the
this.
first reason why somebody should not put their kids or whoever on their bank account.
Well, the first reason, John, is because you may unintentionally disinherit heirs that you intend to have a portion of your bank account after you die.
That's it. Yeah, I've seen this happen a bunch.
Yeah, we've seen this many, many times because let's say, John, that you're a widow, you have 3 kids, they're all good kids.
Uh-huh.
But your daughter lives here close by. Your 2 sons, well, they have careers and they live out of state.
Uh-huh.
And so you feel like, hey, my daughter already helps me. If I get sick, I want her to be able to take care of my bills and do my banking. So you and the daughter go up to the bank and you tell the bank representative, I want to put my daughter on my account so she can help me if I need it. And they say, okay. And they go through everything. They add her to the account. And 2, 3, 10 years later, you die and there is $100,000 in your checking account.
Mm-hmm.
Who gets the money?
The joint owner.
That's right. Now, John, here I'll throw a curveball at you.
Right.
What if you have a will and the will says everything I have when I die, including my real estate, my household goods, any cash in my accounts, anything I have is split into equal shares among all 3 of my children.
Yeah,
does that
matter.
change your answer?
Nope, it does not matter. By virtue of being the surviving joint owner on that account, that one kid is going to get it all. And they can voluntarily give what is now their money to their brothers and sisters. And you know what? I've even seen that happen once or twice.
Yeah, no, I have seen kids who were the surviving joint owner on account and they said, no, mama wanted me to split this up and that's what I'm doing. And they do it.
Yeah.
But John, I've also seen lots and lots of cases where that surviving joint owner said, yeah, well, I know mom meant for me to split it, but they never showed up to take care of mama. I did all the work. I deserve this money, and that's what mom intended in the end.
But here you go, Lisa. You know what? There's somebody in there listening, and they're saying, well, that's all fine and dandy, but I only keep a little bit of money in my bank account anyway.
Right.
Well, I had a daughter that was on dad's bank account. There wasn't any money hardly in the bank account. He had a big investment account. That's where all of his money was, and it was payable to the 2 kids.
But she made it payable to that bank account?
No, she went and pulled all the money out and stuck it in the checking account so that she'd inherit it when she died.
Well, all right. Well, it looks like we've got a caller, so we're going to try our technical prowess of getting this on the phone. All right, caller, you are on Aging Insight. Yes. Right. Right, because that was, yeah. Of discouraging, right. Well, that's right. So for our Facebook Live folks, the caller is suggesting that, hey, this bank policy about giving it, to the kid and everything is just a way for the banks to encourage financial decisions that are not good for you and your family. And I'm going to let you go, caller. But John, I agree in the sense that, I'm sorry, one more time. Great. I agree in the sense that the bank is definitely encouraging financial decisions that are not understood by their bank customer.
Yep.
And
done entirely to protect the bank.
And done entirely to protect the bank. That way, if the kid does anything with the money, the bank can say, "Hey, not our fault. You're the one that signed the account agreement allowing that."
Yeah, and so again, if you do have if there is some evil to be had in there,
yes.
We're still trying to get the phones to work. But anyway, if there is still if they do have some evil in there, like the example that I gave, where they know there's other money out there that's maybe payable to a brother or sister, or payable equal to all the kids, but you've got that savvy child that you have added to that bank account. They know that whatever is in that account
goes to them.
And so I have had cases where they intentionally pull out money from other accounts,
like CDs. When a CD matures, they have it dumped into the checking account.
That's right. So that it then goes to them at death. And the one thing you might be surprised about here is that there are court cases that say that is okay.
That's A-okay. That's right. So so that is the first reason to not add a child to the account, is that you may unintentionally disinherit your other intended heirs from sharing in that asset.
All right. Give me another one.
Well, John, another reason not to is the risk to your money of unintentional loss. And now some of you are thinking, well, I trust my kid. So if I add them to the account, then I know they're not going to touch my money. They know it's my money. I've never had any problems.
That's right.
But John, just this week, I had a lady in my office who has been a caregiver for her mother, who is obviously a very stand-up, caring, lovely lady. Her mom added her on her account some years ago. And she has a sibling that does not live local. And about a year or so ago, the daughter, her husband had some health crises.
Okay.
And they needed to come up with some money for some treatments. Yep. And you know where they got the money from? They got the money from mom's account. And I get the desperate situation, but the issue now is that the money's not there. Mom needs care as well. The daughter is extremely torn because she said, I felt like I didn't really have a choice. We had to make a down payment on some treatments for my husband. We didn't, we had been devastated financially because of this health crisis. So I, quote, borrowed some money from mom.
Right.
And mom's not really in a position at this point to say yes or no to that. And she said, no, my mom would be okay with it, and I had access. But now I can't really, I still can't quite pay it back. And so that when you add a child to that account, that child now has power and authority to make withdrawals of your money.
That's right. And I mean, you were talking about like in this one,
Yeah, at least in this one, we can all understand what happened. But John, there's plenty of cases where a kid just feels like, man, there is such a good deal on that lake cabin next to my best friend that I've been looking at. Yeah. Now's the time if I don't move quickly, and I'm just gonna take a little advance on my inheritance.
Right. When it comes to money, people are amazing
about how they justify.
Exactly. And so, yeah, you have this intentional taking, justified by the taker in some way, shape.
Some way.
There's always a good reason why they had to do it in this situation. They always have the best intentions of repaying it and things like that. But even the ones that, but anyway, we're going to take our last break. But when we come back, I mean, one of these others is going to be just, even the best people can get into trouble.
Right.
And so we're going to talk about some of those. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Yeah. No, our Facebook Live folks can't hear the caller, but
yeah, and there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, we can't do the technical, but I've never seen a banker sit down with a banking customer when they come in to say, I want to add the kid to my account, and sit down and go through all these scenarios.
Nope.
They don't do that. So
they certainly do not.
but yeah, no, the example of the lady this week, and I really felt for her. Clearly such a torn, she's a caregiver for both her mom and her husband, and there's just so much stress and so much expense and supporting people who have health needs. Just very sympathetic, but it doesn't change the fact that monies are now gone that aren't available for mom's care. So
yeah,
and I bet her sister is maybe not real pleased.
Yeah, they're probably going to be a little unhappy about that later as well. Yeah, we've had plenty of those, and like I said, some of them they seem very legitimate, and
that we all can understand, but yet
yeah, but there's also plenty of them that were just like, oh, don't give me that baloney.
Yeah, no, I can't tell you how many that I've had a adult child come into my office where maybe their local sibling has been, quote, taking care of mom or dad and been added to the account, and then some kind of crisis hits and the out of town child is back in town to help and realizes that all of the savings is gone, and when they confront their sibling about it, turns out that the sibling's kind of gone through the money.
Yeah, remember we had the grandma and who had a 22-year-old granddaughter or something that was taking care of her, and grandma's credit card was run up with trips to Victoria's Secret and late nights at the country bar.
Right. I don't think Granny was out was getting dressed up in some Victoria's Secret clothing or intimates,
and then heading out to the club. Hey, maybe she was.
Anything in it, that's true.
Well, not in this case, she wasn't, because she was pretty much out of it. But
that was a case of a granddaughter essentially saying that grandma was okay with her using the money that way, and she had a debit card on the account.
Yeah, so. She had the debit card on the account.
Yeah.
All right, we're going back live in our last segment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Phone 903-793-1071. Now back to Aging Insight with John and Lisa.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to our final segment today. Today, we're talking about 5 reasons that you should not add your child to your bank account. Number 1 is an unintentional disinheritance, because the child of the bank account gets all the money, no matter what your will says or however many other children you have. Number 2, there's a potential for intentional taking, where the child justifies in their mind that they should grab some of that money now. And so go into our 3rd reason, John. There's also the potential for an unintentional loss because of something going on with the child account owner.
Well, I remember a while back we had the lady here in town that had gone over to the local bank, had put her son on all of the accounts. Unbeknownst to her, the son was behind on child support.
Yes.
And as soon as his name and information hit all of mom's accounts as a joint owner, then he had as much right to them as she did, which also meant that his creditors,
in this the Attorney General of the state of Texas.
That's right. The AG's office swoops in and freezes all of mom's accounts because son's behind on child support. I have seen this happen in the context of the IRS, the Attorney General, bankruptcy. If you make your kid a joint owner on the account, they have as much right to it as you. It's their money as much as it is your money, right, even though they haven't contributed to it. You don't think of it like this because you don't.
You know it's your money.
You know it's your money, but by making them a joint owner, you've made it their money. And if they have problems, their problems are going to be hitting your money. There's actually a pretty big case that came out of the Supreme Court just a couple of years ago, asking whether or not the federal bankruptcy court could seize. In this case, the daughter had one of these bad balloon mortgages.
Right.
And so when the balloon payment came due, she couldn't make the payment. She was risking foreclosure of her home. So she filed bankruptcy to prevent that. But during this time, her mom had made her a joint owner on all of her investment accounts, which totaled well into the,
seven figures, I think.
Yeah, $300,000 or $400,000. And so when she filed bankruptcy, the bankruptcy court went in and took all of mom's assets to use to pay for daughter's debts.
That's right. And, for our Arkansas listeners and residents, remember, Arkansas state law allows garnishment
of wages
and getting into your account. So there's lots of issues that if you add a joint account owner that has creditor problems, that has their own financial issues, that you have just opened the barn door to let that and wide to let all that into your account. So that's another reason not to add a kid.
And again, you may be saying that, hey, my kids don't have any of these problems. Well, that's true, maybe today. But you don't have any idea what the future holds. And if you think you've got the magic ball to just be able to sit here and go, no, I guarantee 100%, there's no way my kid would ever get sued, file bankruptcy, get divorced, owe the IRS. You're just lying.
Yeah, you're
just lying to yourself.
So, okay, John. So that's reason number 3 is that can be some unintentional loss of your money through your child's issues. So number 4, John, is the risk of meddling in-laws.
Yeah. You like your son. How much you like his wife?
Yeah. And there's one set of in-laws out there, I wonder what they're thinking. But anyway, if I've had parents say to me, oh, they adore their son, he's such a good boy, he's so supportive, so helpful, but they'll say, his wife, she just doesn't keep up with the Joneses kind of person. She has $1, she spends $1.50. She's all about the looks and living a lifestyle. And if you and I've even had the parent say, well, and I know that whatever she wants, he does, because it's easier to keep the peace.
That's right.
Well, if you add that son onto your bank account, maybe your son would never touch that money. But what about his wife who needles him to grab some of that money to take care of something?
Well, and let me give you another scenario. And this one ought to really, if you have some concern about that in-law or outlaw, as the case may be,
yes,
right? I bet, here's somebody out there has listened to our show before and they've heard us talk about the importance of powers of attorney.
Right.
And based on that, they got their own powers of attorney done.
Okay.
And then they told all of their kids that they listened to John and Lisa on the radio and they've talked about how important powers of attorney are. And so they encourage their kids to all get powers of attorney, right? Which means that son has done a power of attorney now that appointed his wife to handle business on his behalf.
Right.
Which means by adding your son to your bank account, you just added your son and his wife, because she can do anything he can do with that power of attorney.
That's true. So
did you think about that? No, I bet you didn't.
And I bet the bank didn't tell you to think about that either.
I bet they didn't. So yeah, you may like your kids, but if you are adding your kids as a joint owner on the account, in many cases, you are either directly or indirectly adding your in-laws to that account. And I've had lots of folks that not keen on the in-laws. I've had a couple. Of course, I also had one guy, and he said he actually really liked all of his daughter's husbands, but he didn't like any of his daughters at all.
Yeah, no, I've had plenty of clients who. Gosh, I had a lady in the office just this week that she was there with her ex-daughter-in-law because she liked her better than she liked her son. So you never know. But the point is, don't add any of them to your account outright. So So we've been through 4, John.
Right. So
I am determined that we are going to get our list of 5.
Okay.
Today.
Well, you've got about 2 or 3 minutes to knock it out then.
So the 5th reason, and I wouldn't say this is the final because I could think of other reasons.
Oh yeah.
But the 5th reason today of why you should not add your child to your bank account is because there is the potential for unanticipated issues with your child, such as they become disabled.
Right.
And they need help and assistance. And when they apply for that help or assistance, guess what asset is in their column?
Yeah. So everybody always thinks about stuff like nursing home care in one generational direction.
Yes, at the oldest level in that generation.
That's right. It's always about the oldest and looking down from there. So we've got to get mom qualified for nursing home care. Or what happens if my dad has to go to the nursing home? You don't ever hear the parents saying, I'm worried about what happens if my son goes to the nursing home. And yet, I would say, I haven't actually run the statistics, but I would say that just in our office, that we've probably got at least 1 out of 10 where we're doing it in the reverse direction.
Right. The parent is actually in a healthier physical and mental condition than their child. And their child, due to health issues, due to an accident, is having to access disability services and healthcare supports. And the fact that before that happened, the child was on the parent's bank account.
Yep.
Well, now when you apply for that disability or that healthcare support, they count the entire account of the parent as the child's asset.
Yep. And it can be difficult and in some cases impossible to convince them that money should not be spent on his care before he ever becomes eligible for a government assistance program.
Right, because we can all sign affidavits and mom can say, every dime in this account is my money. My son who I have on this account, who's now disabled, he contributed nothing to the account. But see, when you sign that bank account agreement at the bank, adding the son to your account, you actually made him a legal title owner to every dollar in that account. It is like you just took the money out and made a gift to your child.
That's exactly right.
And so the whether it's Medicaid, they're looking at that saying, yeah, but he has every legal right to it now. So it's his money.
Yeah. So people, that's one big one that they forget a lot. And this can also, there's other places where other government benefit programs could potentially be affected. You as a grandparent's assets don't affect your grandchildren's financial aid eligibility
for college. Yeah.
But their parents' assets do.
That's right.
Did you just make all of your assets the parents' assets?
And now your grandchild can't get any assistance with college.
Yeah. Good job on that one. All right. So don't do it. All right. Don't do it. And of course, if you have any other questions, you just give us a call during the week at Ross and Schollmeyer. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you
next Saturday.
And thanks to all of y'all for watching. Yes. If we don't talk to you between now and then, we'll see you at the Wine Festival on May the 4th. So that's my last shout out for the Wine Festival. There will be others.
Yes.
But that's my last one that's my last one for today. All right. Y'all all have a good one out there. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.